What up, fam? It's your boy, Slenderboy2024, streaming to you live. Yeah, this will be a quick little stream. I just wanted to tell you guys about my new favorite TV show. I've been hearing about this for quite a while now. People have been telling me, you have to watch this show. It's called Severance, okay? You have to find it. You have to watch this show. And I was kind of like, I kind of never believed the hype with shows, whatever is big at the time, like Game of Thrones or whatever. I'm just kind of like, yeah, like whatever, like maybe I'll watch it, whatever. I'm just never on board that hype train. I don't know, but I consistently kept hearing really good things about Severance. So for those who don't know, it is an Apple TV Plus exclusive, which means there's no way in hell I'm gonna watch it. That's gonna be most people's reaction, and believe me, I was on board there. I don't want another subscription service, especially since. Is there anything? Tell me in the comments. Is there anything worth watching on Apple Plus besides Severance? I know people like Ted Lasso. I don't know. That show doesn't really seem like my cup of tea. But I heard that's kind of good. But anything else? I'm sorry, I'm not signing up for Apple Plus. But I found the DVDs. I'm actually shocked that this Apple exclusive show got a DVD release. I think because it was so damn well received, people just clamored for this. They wanted a physical release so that they don't have to freaking keep that Apple subscription forever in order to watch their favorite TV show. But yeah, this is Severance. This is directed by Ben Stiller. I'm actually pretty shocked. I mean, not that Ben Stiller's not a talented guy. It's just this show doesn't really scream Ben Stiller to me. If you ask me, oh, who do you think is behind this project? I'd be like, I don't know, David Lynch. David Lynch, maybe. No. Let's look at the back here. 2-time Emmy Award winner and nominated for 14 Emmy Awards, including Outstanding Drama Series. Yeah, and it deserves it. It deserves every single bit of praise it's gotten over the years. Let's read the little summary here. From director and executive producer Ben Stiller and creator Dan Erickson comes Severance. Mark Scout, played by Adam Scott, leads a team at Lumen Industries whose employees have undergone a severance procedure which surgically divides the memories between their work and personal lives. This daring experiment in work-life balance is called into question as Mark finds himself at the center of an unraveling mystery that will force him to confront the true nature of his work and of himself. Well, it wasn't that very big. Yeah, I know, and I love the main actor, Adam Scott. He plays, what was his character's name? Yeah, Mark Scout, Adam Scott. Pretty similar names anyway. But yeah, I love him on Parks and Rec. He's the crazy calzone guy, Ben Wyatt. But yeah, no, I like him in general. So the show got all this praise. The premise was very interesting to me. And then I saw one of my favorite actors is the lead in it, and I'm like, okay. So there you go. And there's some other big names. I mean, a lot of the cast is people that I didn't know, but we had John Turturro in there. We had Christopher Walken is in the show. Patricia Arquette. Yeah, some big names, but yeah, no, and the filmmaking techniques are crazy. I don't know how they made this show. I really don't, but it has movie quality cinematography, and there's this eerie, I don't know if it's the lighting or the way it's filmed or what, but there's this eerie ambiance to every scene. I always feel almost motion sick, or I feel I have vertigo a little bit watching this show. It's unnerving in the best way possible, or in the most effective way possible. But yeah, let's talk about this. So starting with the title, so this is what's interesting to me. So when you hear the word severance, at least for me, the first thing that comes to mind is the phrase your severance pay, right? That's when you leave a company, when you lose your job, or when you leave a company, they give you this final pay. That's your severance pay. Ironically, severance is the way in which you join this company in this universe. So they're being a little whatever, ironic or contradictory there. But yeah, there's the Lumen Corporation, and the way that you work for them is through this procedure called severance, where they insert this chip in your brain. And now, what's so interesting about this show is they take this idea of like how everyone to an extent does this, right? We all filter ourselves. Like when we have to go to the office, when we have to go to our jobs, we can't be exactly how we are on the outside world. We have to filter ourselves. We have to kind of make ourselves, appropriate for the workplace or whatever. Whether that's like toning down your cursing, or not talking about your certain interests of yours, just keeping it all business, you know what I mean? And in a way, we kind of adopted a different personality, or a different persona, our work persona. And it's true, like it's true that, like, and this show takes this to an extreme, obviously, but like it's true that, like, it's so interesting to think about. But like, yeah, in a way, like your workplace, it is like this other world that you enter. Like you walk through those doors at 8 a.m, you walk out of those doors at 5 p.m, and like you enter a different world, because you have your work friends that you see at work. And I mean, sometimes people become lifelong friends through work, or see each other outside of work, but like that's kind of rarely the case, right? It's like you do have like your work friends that you just like you only see at work, and like you have no idea like that. And that's the whole thing of this show, is like no one knows any personal details about each other, or even of themselves. And it's like, yeah, it's like, I mean, a lot of the time I'll have like a friend at work or something, like, it's just like, say his name is Ben or something. And it's like, yeah, like you won't even share last names, right? It's just like, hey, this is Ben, this is Jim, or whatever. And like, that's it. Like, cause they don't need to get more personal than that. They just need to know each other's names to be like, the first thing, just be like, hey, Ben, can you, make a copy of this, or or whatever, you know what I mean? But it's like, yeah, like they have no idea what each other's lives are like on the outside world, whether they have like a family or kids, or, another job, or whatever. It's like you're a mystery to each other. You only know what you need to know for the workplace. And like, that's kind of, that's how it really is. And like Severance is just exaggerating certain things, but like it's so real at times, and it's like too real. It makes me uncomfortable. But it's like, yeah, I mean, so Severance, yeah, it's about and what's interesting is that they go into like all these different groups of people's reactions to this procedure, where it's like, hey, like, is this immoral? Like, is this wrong? Like, to do this? And they go into all these different reasons of why people would do this to themselves. For example, I'll just talk about, the main guy, Mark Scout here. So long story short, at the beginning of the series, this has already happened, but he has lost his wife tragically in a car accident, and he's very distraught about it. She was his whole world, and he really can't like move on. He can't function. Like, it's like he can't work, and that's kind of why he goes to work for Lumen and does a severance procedure, where so you have the two sides. You have your outside persona, the outie, and then they call your work persona the innie. Okay, the innie and the outie, they really are like two different personalities. They don't share memories, they don't share information. And so innie Mark is able to focus on work because he doesn't know anything. He doesn't know he even had a wife. He doesn't have that, like, he doesn't have to deal with that trauma. And outie Mark, that's kind of his solution, is like, well, for 8 hours a day, I can not feel anything. I can not feel those things, and a different me can work, more effectively and diligently, what have you. And that's interesting. Can you really shut that part of your brain off, compartmentalize to that degree? We all compartmentalize to a degree, but again, this show takes things to an extreme to make a point. Yeah, and it goes into things like why would the Lumen Corporation want to do this to employees? Well, their side of things, at least what they tell people, is that like, oh, well, this is good for us because our employees deal with like sensitive information, and we don't want that information getting out. So literally, when they walk out of those doors at 5 p.m., they switch personalities, and they can't relay any. And the show goes into painstaking detail, because one of the main characters, she's just trying everything she can think of to like get a note. You can't get a note outside of those doors. You can't pass along a message outside of Lumen. Like, it doesn't work, and they show you why it doesn't work. But it's so, yeah, in that regard, as far as like having a foolproof plan to like keep employees from like exposing company secrets and whatnot, yeah, like, no, like that's why Severance is so good for the company. I also love the name Lumen. I don't know, like the way I took it is like it's Lumon, like Lumen, but like they're one of those big brother corporations. Like they're always watching, and it's like they're always looming around you. You know what I mean? Like that's how I took it. So I like the name. I think it's very fitting. Um, but yeah, like I don't know. The one supervisor that like watches over Mark and his friends, this dude named Milchick. Like he gives me like such a bad vibe. Like this guy, it's like, he never like outwardly. It's one of those things. It's like one of those characters where like he never outwardly like threatens anyone or is like outwardly intimidating per se, but like he is like just this. Yeah, he gives a bad vibe. He's like, it's clear he's someone you don't want to get on his bad side, because, and there's even like a quick line in like I think the first episode or so where like Mark's talking to the new girl Helly, and he says something like, yeah, Mr. Milchick's a nice guy, and Helly, don't push your luck, basically, because he's not. And she's like starts to argue, and he's like, because he's not, he doesn't always have to be nice, he says something like that. It's like, whoa. Like, yeah, no, Milchick, you can he's one of those. The show is so good at like implying things and like not showing anything but like implying something, and it's like, yeah, Milchick is pretty scary. Like he never outwardly does anything, but there's always that like invisible hanging threat with him where he's, and I think to an extent we've all experienced this in our workplace or whatever, where like, how do I put it, like, and this is like literally a scene in Severance, but like, think of a scene where like, you and the coworkers, you're hanging out in the break room or by the water cooler or whatever, and you're just like shooting the shit, or maybe you're goofing off a little bit, or you're talking about something that you shouldn't be talking about, or something that's not like entirely work appropriate or whatever. And then all of a sudden, like your boss or the supervisor, he just like all smiles, but he like kind of slides right in next to you guys, like, hey guys, what are we all talking about? And it's just like, and he's like being, but it's like he's being nice or he's being friendly, but it's like that fake nice or fake friendly, where like clearly he's just like, hey, don't forget I'm around, like don't forget that I'm constantly watching and listening. He acts like he wants to be your friend, but he's the furthest thing from it. That type of character. Like, yeah, Milchick scares the crap out of me, actually. he really disturbs me. And like that fake ass smile, that fake ass laugh that he does, it's just like it's so on point. I was gonna say on the nose. No, it's so on point, because like I think we've all had that experience with something like that in the workplace or in our various jobs we've had or whatever, where it's just like, oh my god, and like they go into like the bullshit like corporate incentives or whatever. It's just like, oh, and again, I'm sure all of us in various workplaces can relate to this, where it's like, oh, you have like a quota to meet or numbers to meet or whatever, and like there's like these bullshit incentives, like these little like, oh, like, if you meet your quota, like we'll give you a finger trap, or we'll give you I love I love all the parties and like all the incentives they do, like, oh, the finger traps, what is it, oh, someone's getting a waffle party, someone's getting a melon bar, or incentive melon bar, like it's just, and the way that the coworkers, they get psyched, they get like jazzed up for it. They're like, oh yeah, like, I'm gonna get me another finger trap, or I'm gonna get me a melon party, or and like I've seen that type of like again, this is an extreme, like these are such lame prizes or lame incentives, but like we've all seen that. We've all seen that, where you're working a shitty job and it's like, well, if you do well this quarter, we'll get a pizza party, woo, or they'll let us play a CD, woo. One famous scene that's talked about is where Helly, she meets her numbers for the quarter or whatever the hell, and she gets to have like a music party, and she gets to have, everyone talks about this, that you can just look up the Defiant Jazz scene, where she has to like choose a piece of music, and she chooses Defiant Jazz, and it's the most like, it's funny, but it's also like really disturbing. It's really like just eerie and unnerving. And again, this is where I think like, somebody like David Lynch filmed this or something. Like, it's just like, I don't know. You gotta watch that scene. I mean, you gotta watch the whole show, honestly, but you gotta watch that scene. What else? Like the title sequence. Like, again, look up the intro sequence on YouTube or whatever. Look up the title sequence, because it's so trippy. It's so like eerie, and it's so like, the visuals are just like breathtaking. And I think it won Yeah, one of the Emmys that it won, the show won an Emmy for like its intro sequence, and it deserves it. Like it's like crazy. I showed it to a friend and recently, and he was like, "Oh yeah, it's like every Valve game combined." So it's like, "Oh, is this like whatever? Is this like Portal? Is this like Stanley Parable? Is this like, it's like it's a really cool title sequence. I mean, look at this. It's kind of like this. Like look at this cover here. But yeah, I won't prattle on too long. That's the beauty of this show. It's like I don't want to talk about. I mean, I do want to talk about it because I love this show. I want to like discuss spoiler details with people that have seen it. But like I don't want to say too much because I do want you to see. I want that's the one thing, and that's where I was blessed. Where it's like I went in kind of blind. That's the correct way to watch the show. Go in like mostly blind. I went in basically blind because like even though I'd heard such good things, like I didn't really hear anything concrete. Like I barely knew the premise of the show, and like that's the best way to watch it. It's like it's not like with Game of Thrones I would hear spoilers like every week from people. It's like no, I knew very little. I didn't know any spoilers at all, and that's the way to go because the twists in this show are wild, and they make the show worth it, honestly. The only frustrating thing is like season 1 ends on this like really dramatic cliffhanger, and then season 2 took like 3 years to come out, and like so there's currently no DVD for that. Like that's unless I want to wait for the DVD, I might have to get Apple Plus. Like so, and then who knows how long season 3 will take to come out. So that's mildly annoying, but like no, like trust me, it's only season 1's only what was it 9 episodes? Yeah, 9 episodes. Yeah, binge it. Watch all of it right now. Like, trust me, you'll thank me. You'll thank me later. Like, you need to see this show.